Hey, that looks like it might have worked.
Have we got a treat for you? It's been such a long time coming. I'm so excited to share it with you. Today we are going to we're going to try to mold some silver, so let's, fingers crossed. That's how you do it, fingers crossed.
This is what's called a sprue tree, and Jim put these on and designed the thing so that the silver hopefully will flow well into here. This is our first time doing this. So, you know, fingers crossed, I guess, that it's going to turn out okay. These are 3D printed rings. We actually made these for our kids. This is a medallion, and hopefully, even though this is our first time, it'll turn out okay. Let me show you a few of the things that we have not yet used, but have been having in our studio for a couple months, kind of waiting for us to pull the trigger. This is a metal crucible that allows us to melt the silver and then pour it into the mold. This big boy is a vacuum table, and this table just like sucks all the air out, and it makes it so there's no bubbles. Hopefully it's going to be just great. And there's another hole there that you put the crucible in, and then the vacuum, like that, and then the vacuum sucks all the air out of the plaster. Here is our kiln. This is different. The kiln is on top of a kiln. This one is different from a ceramic kiln. I'm not sure how, but it's just specifically designed for casting.
Probably I could just melt the edge of this tree. All right, now that I've finished melting the tree onto the base.
It's time for debubbleizer.
No, because I realized I forgot to weigh it.
Oh dear.
Have to weigh it to figure out how much metal to use.
Oh, darn it.
This is why we need a written set of directions that we follow. Distilled water. Important safety note. Spraying the debubbleizer when it's already attached apparently has a detaching effect.
Oops, well, good thing we were just checking it, doing the dry run first, yep. Right?
Because when I removed the plastic base, the tree fell off.
The investment process has a limit of 9.5 minutes that everything has to be accomplished in. So there's been a lot of preparation, a lot of let's try this without the stuff, list making, and lots of thought that's going into this. I think we might be just about ready to get started.
This is Kate's favorite part, all the preparation and planning.
In case you're new here, that was irony.
Have a measured amount of water. Now,
What's next?
Next, we invest for 90 seconds.
This is a vacuum thing?
This is the vacuum thing.
Ooh, I can't wait to see this. That's that thread though.
Yes, it does. We pour it into the flask. Bring it down the side of the flask. Now we want to vacuum the flask for 90 seconds.
The investment we're being extra careful with, because it does in fact cause cancer if you breathe the particles. So we're being extra clean, and we're also making sure that we always wear our respirators.
in no small part because I already have asthma. Don't want it to get worse. All the white stuff in this dirt pile is investment that didn't get onto my wetted cloth when I'm wiping it up. And even though it's a small amount, this stuff will end up killing you.
He just call you Mickey.
Down.
But you're not. After the mold spends many hours in the kiln, it's finally time to melt the silver. We learned that we needed a much longer pair of tweezers. Also, a plastic spoon is not recommended when filling a hot crucible.
Ooh. Definitely not melted yet.
As you could see, I was more than a little fascinated by the whole process of melting the silver in the crucible. It's just so beautiful. Melting the silver took a lot longer than we expected, but we eventually figured out that we were about 100 degrees too cool, and that helped when we turned up the temperature. You'll note we also switched to a metal spoon.
How much is in there?
Here comes the big moment. Jim is going to take the flask out of the kiln, and he has to turn it upside down to put it into the vacuum table. So here he goes, and made it. Wait, you gotta have the vacuum on. You have on casting? Yeah, okay. Sadly, in the excitement, I missed the video of the pour. However, now it's time to take the flask out to cool. Look at how hot all that stuff is.
I really hope at least one of them turns out nicely.
Yeah. How long has this been, this process?
We started at approximately 10 o'clock this morning.
And what time is it now?
2:13 a.m.
The flask has to cool enough that it's no longer glowing red. And so, because it was dark outside by the time we finished, we found this very easy to check. Now what we've got to do is plunge this into water, and all this plaster is going to break, and then we're going to see if anything actually happened inside.
Let it drop to the bottom.
Just stick it in there.
Look at that.
Hey, that looks like it might have worked. Look at that. There's the pendant. You were worried about that coming out.
Do we have any kind of a scrub brush?
We're having a little bit of trouble getting the investment out of the little crevices, so we're going to leave it soaking overnight. But overall, I am just so excited. This little button is what's left at the bottom of the crucible. And so obviously our calculations were amiss. Way off. This is really heavy. It's interesting that it's still so dark. But it looks like it's got some of that yuck stuff off of there.
So what does the dark mean?
Well, it's oxidized somehow. It means that probably my vinegar is
Or not?
yeah. I probably should have my other mask on because it's got the
Look at Kate being all responsible and stuff.
lung cancer is not a laughing matter. Okay, I just did that so that you could take pictures with the details a little bit better. And then yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this with clippers. I'm going to have to use a saw. All right, now I have easier access. Oh boy, that's going to be a lot of cleanup. That's all right. The finished products still need quite a lot more work. The sprue places still need more grinding, and I need to have this more polished. But overall, I am so happy with how these turned out. For our first project, I just couldn't be any happier.
Well,
That was fun.
fun.
Okay,
That wasn't
very
your.
tense.
It was a long and it was a long learning process. Jim was way more stressed than he appears on the video, and because of that, so was I. But it turned out great. We're so excited. We have so much more to learn. But what a great first experience! I hope you enjoyed yourself. This is Kate from Katie Did.
Keep on doing.